Music has existed in some form since early human history, with the first instruments likely dating back to prehistoric times. Early humans used simple percussion instruments, such as drums and rattles, made from animal hides, bones, and stones. Music served a variety of purposes, from religious rituals to social functions, and its roots are closely tied to communication and human expression. The first known musical instruments were flutes, some of which were made from animal bones. These early instruments date back over 40,000 years, and they have been found in archaeological sites in places like Germany. The connection between music and ritual was likely established in these early societies, where chanting, drumming, and dancing played a central role in community activities. As human societies progressed, so did the complexity of their musical expressions. The ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, and Rome all contributed to the development of music. In these cultures, music was deeply connected to religious practices, with temples and sacred spaces often used for musical performances. Instruments such as the lyre and the harp became more refined during this period. These stringed instruments were used to accompany vocal performances, and their design laid the foundation for many of the stringed instruments we know today. The ancient Greeks are credited with making significant advances in music theory, with thinkers like Pythagoras developing the early foundations of musical scales and tuning systems. The Greeks also introduced concepts such as harmony and melody, which remain central to music theory today. The evolution of musical instruments continued to accelerate throughout history. By the medieval period, innovations in instrument construction led to the creation of a wider variety of instruments. In Europe, the development of the violin family in the Renaissance marked a key moment in the history of music. The violin, viola, cello, and double bass became staples of orchestral music, and their distinct sound has influenced classical music for centuries. Similarly, wind instruments like flutes, oboes, and clarinets were refined and became integral to orchestral compositions. As these instruments evolved, composers found new ways to exploit their tonal qualities, leading to an explosion of musical expression during the Baroque, Classical, and Romantic periods. The development of music theory also advanced significantly over time. Early music was based largely on oral traditions, but as written notation became more common, it allowed for the preservation and spread of musical ideas. In the 9th century, Guido of Arezzo introduced a system of musical notation that is the ancestor of the modern staff notation used today. This system allowed music to be written down with greater precision, enabling composers to share their works across regions and generations. The introduction of musical notation was a pivotal moment in music history, as it provided a way to preserve complex musical ideas and ensure that music could be passed on to future generations. As the centuries passed, Western music became increasingly complex. During the classical period, composers like Johann Sebastian Bach, Ludwig van Beethoven, and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart pushed the boundaries of musical form and expression. Bach's fugues, Beethoven's symphonies, and Mozart's operas are prime examples of the sophistication and emotional depth that music was beginning to convey. These composers helped to establish the foundation for modern Western music, creating compositions that continue to be celebrated and studied. The science of music has also played a crucial role in understanding how sound is produced and perceived. Music is made up of sound waves, which are vibrations that travel through the air and are detected by the human ear. The study of acoustics, the science of sound, has been instrumental in understanding how musical instruments produce sound and how those sounds interact with the environment. For example, a violin produces sound through the vibration of its strings, which are caused by the friction of the bow. The wooden body of the violin amplifies these vibrations, creating the instrument's distinctive tone. The acoustics of concert halls are carefully designed to enhance the sound of orchestras and solo performances, ensuring that the music is heard clearly by audiences. In addition to the physical properties of sound, the biology of how humans perceive music is a fascinating area of study. The human ear is capable of detecting a wide range of frequencies, from the low rumble of a bass drum to the high pitch of a flute. The brain processes these sounds, interpreting them as music. Researchers have discovered that certain types of music can evoke strong emotional responses, such as joy, sadness, or excitement. These emotional reactions are thought to be linked to the way music activates different areas of the brain, including those responsible for memory, emotion, and motor control. The impact of music on human behavior is profound. Music has the ability to unite people across cultural and linguistic boundaries. Throughout history, music has been used to communicate messages, celebrate achievements, mourn losses, and bring communities together. In many cultures, music plays a central role in social events such as weddings, festivals, and funerals. It has also been used in political and social movements, where songs and anthems convey messages of resistance, hope, and solidarity. In contemporary society, music continues to shape cultural identity and provide a means of self-expression,